Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Today, we will look into how Marello can help your e-commerce business. My name is Rolands, and I work for ScandiWeb, and I am joined today by Marluz from Marello's side as a co-host. She will give you an overview of Marello's solution, and afterwards, we will look into a specific case study of a project we did where we integrated Marello OMS solution. So let's kick it off. Marluz.
Yes, Roland, thank you so much for the introduction and welcome everybody and thanks for joining today. Before we start, let me share my screen because of course that's what we need. So yeah, here we go. As Roland said, my name is Marluz and I'm the communications manager at Marello. Today, we're going to look at one of the very successful Marello case studies, monthly clubs that was implemented by ScandiWeb. But before we take a look at the case, I'd like to introduce everyone to Marello. So Marello is an open source product being developed by a team of specialists in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. And to understand what Marello is and what it does and how businesses benefit of using Marello, it's important to understand the challenges that many businesses that sell products are facing. We started developing Marello because we saw that existing solutions often turn out to be less flexible and less future-proof than expected and don't keep pace with the new customer demands. Merchants are trying to keep up, but lack the tools to do so efficiently. Many of the challenges that merchants have are related to customer expectations. When we look at customers in 2020, we know that they expect a lot. They expect an easy, seamless experience, no matter the channel they buy in. Some examples, they want to track their order regardless of the channel they bought it in. They want to be kept up to date about their orders in their account or email, phones or app. They want insights into delivery times. They want quick delivery times. They want to be able to buy something online and pick it up in store. They want easy returns. They even want to see the inventory in your stores and in your warehouses. And they expect customer service to help them answer any questions they have, and so on and so on. These customer demands ask for complicated backend operations. And to satisfy your customer, you need to have insight into your orders across channels, inventory in warehouses, have the ability to purchase new inventory when needed, have custom rights, etc. You are now looking at the current situation for many merchants. Until now, they have often used a multitude of solutions to fit into the new commerce landscape. Think of customizations in the e-commerce software, in their ERP, order management systems, inventory management systems, CRMs, and much more. However, no matter the combination of the platforms that is used, the solutions often turn out to be less flexible and less future-proof and don't keep pace with the new dynamics. And even though all these different platforms are integrated with each other, they often lack the ability to communicate, leaving the merchants with many challenges in managing their back office processes. And this has some clear downsides, such as employees having to work with various systems, which is of course not very time sufficient, having data silos in each application, having no clear overview of all the back office operations. Some businesses use spreadsheets that are prone to manual errors. The platforms need to be upgraded regularly, which costs a lot of time and thus money. And it's often very difficult to add new sales channels or change strategies and update the system accordingly, as the system as a whole is very inflexible. And of course, in the end, this all does not help the customer experience at all. And so this is the situation that is most sought after that we see now on the screen. A unified digital operations platform that brings together your sales channels on the one hand and the back office processes on the other hand, leading to a sustainable commerce landscape. So our mission with Marello is to provide merchants with a unified platform for back office operations. Whether B2C or B2B merchants have one sales channel or multiple sales channels selling on a web shops, marketplaces, brick and mortar stores, and more, Marello will fit any business strategy because of its flexibility and scalability. In the end, we provide a platform in which integrations are really easily made and in which applications can actually communicate. It gives your customers and your teams what they need most, a platform that allows for great experiences. So I hope that the concept of what Marello does is clear. And of course, now you might be wondering how this fits within your business. So what I want to do is take a look at the features that Marello offers. So here we have a feature or an overview of the feature categories, including sales channel management, order management, inventory management, order fulfillment, product management, customer management, business intelligence, subscription, service points. So it's quite a lot. So I'm not going to discuss all of the features that Marello offers because it would easily fill a whole webinar. Instead, I would like to point out some feature highlights instead. The first one of the features I'd like to mention is sales channel management. And sales channel management is a very important aspect in Marello. Marello integrates with any sales channel to then register the orders, fulfill the orders, and deal with inventory accordingly. I've added some examples of sales channels that you could integrate on this slide. And whether you sell in one or multiple sales channels or like any combination of the ones mentioned in the slide, Marello's workflows and business logic will streamline the processes going on. These include everything, for example, that has to do with order management, such as the order orchestration, meaning handling the order from when it comes in to when it's delivered to your customer and maybe even returned. Marello does this through something called smart order routing, in which it decides from which warehouse or warehouses orders should be sent to fulfill the order. This could also include, for example, split shipments and drop shipments. Lastly, on the slide, I've also added subscription management, in which orders are sent out on a regular basis. And of course, we'll see much more about this in the case that Roland will present. Another big part included in Marello is inventory management. In Marello, you have real-time inventory visibility at all times. Whenever orders go out or new inventory comes in, it's all registered within Marello. You will have insight into the inventory in your warehouses and even in your stores. You can purchase new inventory through Marello and send it to your storage locations. Marello has a comprehensive business logic linked to inventory management, in which Marello divides your inventory over your sales channels to make sure supply is always in line with demand. And that's what we call inventory balancing. Last but not least, I wanted to show you this feature called Service Points. And Service Points is for anyone out there who sells products in a physical brick and mortar store. We call these locations service points. And per service point, you can set up which services it provides. For example, shopping, repairs, whether it's a showroom, whether it offers pick up or return in store, etc. You can then use this information to show it in your online channels, for example, on the product pages or in the checkout to connect the online and offline experiences. Now, as I said, Marello includes many more features, and I've just touched upon some of the highlights. If you have any specific challenges relating to any back office operations, there's a very good chance that Marello will indeed solve it. So Marello does offer a full stack of features for back office operations, which sometimes means that it makes it hard to see where Marello might fit into your commerce landscape. In practice, this scheme represents how we see Marello being used, and we actually see Marello at the center of all operations and being integrated with sales channels such as web shops, marketplaces, POS systems, etc., to receive orders, push inventory information to the channels, and, for example, register the customers. And even though Marello supports many back office processes, it might be integrated with specialized systems such as product information management, CRM, 3PLs, your own warehouses, to add even more capabilities where needed. And what's good to understand is that even though third-party systems are added, Marello is actually built to have these integrations, which makes it much easier to maintain than when legacy systems are integrated with each other, thus averting the problems that I mentioned earlier. We also see that sometimes Marello is used as a layer on top of an existing ERP. And this can have multiple reasons. In some businesses, the ERP might be so embedded into the company that it would not make sense to remove it altogether. This might happen when the ERP is, for example, used for complex pricing structures, manufacturing, or accounting. However, the ERP is often not agile enough to manage complex back office operations and not flexible enough to easily add new channels, and it becomes very hard to maintain. And therefore, Marello is used to support the ERP and remove any challenges there might be. Now, we've seen just 2 examples of how Marello can be used, and for each business, this scheme might differ, depending on the business needs. Marello will always be able to at least play the center role in your organization and the unifying role. So in short, that's what Marello is. So a quick recap of the benefits of having a unified commerce operation platform in place. You can offer your customers the ultimate customer experience. Your integrations are easier to maintain, saving valuable time and money. Your teams can work in one piece of software, decreasing the chance of manual errors. And of course, it increases efficiency throughout your organization. I know that we have some developers joining us today, so I thought I'd give a quick overview of the technologies that we're using. The main technologies here, of course, being PHP, the Symfony framework, as well as the Oro platform, which is an open source business application platform. We have a global network of system integrators who take Marello and use it to help their customers. And one of our partners is, of course, ScandiWeb, who will be showing how they use Marello in just a minute. Lastly, if after this webinar you would like to read more about Marello cases, you can find them on our website. And if you would like to know more, you can always send me an email or, of course, just visit our website and schedule a demo or follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. That concludes my introduction. Thank you so much for listening, and I think it's back to you, Roland.
Thank you, Marloes. Thank you very much. So let me share a case study about a recent project we did. I'll share my screen. So here it is. And so we migrated an order management to Marello OMS for one of our clients, automating the whole process. During my presentation, I will do my best to give you insight on the business process, previous order management process that they had, goals that we set for the migration, the new order management process, and then finally the results that we achieved with this migration. First, a quick introduction on who we are. We are a digital agency with 18 years of experience in e-commerce solution development. At this point, we offer a very wide range of services: design, development, marketing, SEO, technical support. Our portfolio consists of both very large projects with multiple integrations and also small projects like WordPress web implementations. So the project we will be looking at was done for a client we have previously already worked with and done migration from Magento 1 to Magento 2 in order to upgrade their front-end experience. But now Monthly Clubs wanted to upgrade their backend processes. So who is Monthly Clubs? Monthly Clubs offers selected club subscriptions for beer, wine, cheese, chocolate, cigars, and flowers. The business is mainly done in USA, and they have been successfully doing it for more than 25 years. Let's first look at the Monthly Club's high-level order process. So the first step, of course, is the actual order placement. Yep. So, and the client has an option to choose to pay monthly, or they can pay fully for their subscription. Meaning that if they pay monthly, we have to keep track of their subscription and reissue invoices payments. So that's a very important note moving forward. So next, before the specific month shipment is sent out, there is an option to make customizations. So monthly clubs differs from other subscription services in a way they listen to their customers even during subscription if they want to make changes. So if a particular shipment that will be received during that month is not something that the client wants, then they need to be technically capable of changing that shipment and accordingly charging the client and shipping the right thing. So next, yeah, so ongoing monthly paid subscriptions are charged before they are shipped. After successful charge, all the shipments for each club are merged within specific packing slips, and then those packing slips are sent to corresponding fulfillment centers. Of course, during all of this process, clients can request their customer data to be changed. This includes credit cards need to be changed, shipping addresses or emails, and so on. And finally, there is also an option to cancel a subscription where the remaining unpaid amount has to be refunded. Now that we understand the business process, let's look at how the orders were managed before Marello in their previous order management system. So first, order can be placed in two ways. Clients can use their Magento 2 e-commerce storefront to place an order, or they can call monthly clubs directly and the order is placed in their OMS by customer service employee. Orders placed in Magento 2 had to be manually exported and then imported in the previous OMS to be further processed. So there was no sync between these two systems that happened automatically. So they had to export the data into a file and then import this file into OMS. And then the further processing happened there without any backlink to Magento. After that, subscription charging was manually initiated, the first charge and also upcoming charges. Next, previous OMS allowed order customizations, but there was not a standard process flow for it. Therefore, overtime orders were customized following over time, orders were customized following different kind of flows, which resulted in different order structures, different data, and also allowed human error. When orders had to be prepared for fulfillment, packing slips were exported manually from their OMS. Once the files were ready, they were sent to fulfillment centers via email. Users were able to request customer data change for their ongoing subscriptions by calling monthly clubs directly. And here also important thing is that if a client placed an order by calling directly, then the order was not then synced to Magento for their user account, so they wouldn't be able to see that the order was placed and the details for it. It was just in their old OMS. So yeah, and any changes done in their old OMS, so won't be anywhere visible for them. So yeah, that's one of the points that also have to take note now, because that will be important for later. Then cancellations and refunds also were possible in their previous OMS, but again, there was no standard process. It could be done in various ways. Therefore, again, over time, it was done in various ways and allowed human error. There were specific goals that we aim to achieve by this migration to Marello. Let's go through them, which will give us base understanding of reasons for the technical implementation that was done. First, we wanted to have a synchronization between Magento 2 and Marello OMS so that there is no need for manual exports or imports. Also, this means that all the data that is in MOM and is needed in Magento, all the data that will be in Marello is also synced to Magento and vice versa. Therefore, customers can see their orders, and also customer service can see all of those orders that belong to their clients. Charging orders took a lot of time. Therefore, implementing automated charging solution was very important. Since creating packing slips and sending them to fulfillment centers is a standard process, we wanted to completely automate it without any involvement from customer service. Due to possibility to be charged monthly, it is very important for associated credit cards to be validated. Having an automated solution to validate cards and inform clients to renew them in case they are no longer valid could save time, and that way customer service didn't have to call every time there was invalid card, but rather have an automated solution that informs clients about it, they renew it, and in case they don't for a longer period of time, then customer service can jump in and resolve it. Historical orders that have been completed were used in reports to analyze business performance and guide further actions. Also, since we are working with subscriptions, there are a lot of ongoing orders that require further processing. For this reason, it was very important to migrate all the customers and orders to the new Marello OMS system. There were custom report scripts created for previous OMS that allowed to export reports needed for the business. Our goal was to recreate these reports and allow monthly clubs to generate them on demand. Customer service consists of multiple people. For them, it is important to be able to leave valuable comments for orders that can help both with order processing and client communication in the future. Also, having an ability to know who created specific order helps validate work of employees and then connect to specific employees regarding specific orders in case there is a need to clarify anything. Previous system allowed doing the same thing like cancellation, refunds in many ways, resulting in different order structures. The goal for new system was that there is a single process for each action so that order structure doesn't change over time. Also, standard processes make it easy to navigate through the system and use it. Let's now look at the implemented order management process using Marello. So clients even after migrating to Marello, they can still place the order two ways. They can use the Magento 2 website or by contacting monthly clubs, where employee places the order for them directly in the Marello OMS. Once the order is placed, it is automatically synced to the other system. So if it was placed on Magento 2 website, it is automatically synced to Marello. And if it was synced to Marello, then it is automatically synced to Magento 2. And in case it was placed on Marello and the customer client is new, then also the client customer account is created on Magento 2 side, and the order is associated with them. So in case they want to follow up on it, they can through the web. We implemented a custom connector between Marello and Magento 2, which allows syncing customers, orders, products, coupon data between both of these systems. Within Marello, the order is split in monthly shipments automatically. We had to extend Marello to achieve this at the time of the project, but now Marello offers an out-of-the-box subscription functionality that covers most of the subscription process needs. So if you choose to integrate Marello now, there wouldn't be, the implementation would be much faster because the base things are already covered out of the box. Placing the order initiates automated charging depending on selected payment terms, monthly or full. We achieved this by implementing authorized.net payment gateway, which handles all the charging operations and client billing information. So no more manual initiations of charges. This is all handled now through authorized.net. We extended Marello to have additional views and features required for subscription order customizations, which were specific to monthly clubs. And they allowed adding and removing products from specific shipment for their for the upcoming shipment for the client. All the customizations automatically affected the subscription charge and were reflected in the packing slip. Ongoing monthly charge subscriptions based on predefined schedule are charged automatically by authorized.net. The integration was done not only on Magento 2 side, but also on Marello side. So the orders not only can were charged from Magento 2, but we also integrated the authorized.net on Marello. So the orders can are charged from there too. Also, if the charge fails, the customer is automatically informed about a need to update their billing information via email multiple times. And if it still fails, then customer service is informed to take action. Based on predefined schedule, the packing slips also are automatically created by Marello, and they are sent, when prepared, they are sent to configured fulfillment center Google Drives. So no more email sent to fulfillment centers. Each fulfillment center has their own Google Drive where these packing slips are stored for them to be then further processed and the shipments to be shipped out. To make it easier for customers, we also extended Magento 2 functionality to allow customers to change their credit card and shipping details for ongoing subscriptions. And the changes are automatically synced between Magento 2 and Marello. And this also happens in case they call monthly clubs, customer service, and they do the changes on their customer account within Marello, then they also then reflect in Magento when they view their orders. Within Marello, we implemented standard one-click process for cancellation and refunding orders. This way, customer service employees all do it the same way, removing possibility for human error. Let's now look at the results this system has achieved. So first, data integrity. Having synchronization between Magento 2 and Marello makes sure that customer and order data is consistent on both sides. Automating shipment processing, charging credit card checks allows monthly clubs to spend save time on marketing and customer care activities. So next, having standard processes for customizations, refunds, cancellations, reships allows easier onboarding of new employees and reduces human error for frequently performed activities. Customer care using Marello functionality are able to tag orders and leave useful information in the comments. Also, all of the orders are marked by employee ID to identify who has worked with it. Magento customers now also can track more easily their orders, since now even if they place them by calling monthly clubs and customer service placed it, they still have all the details about the orders synced to Magento to their account where they can trace it. Comparing to previous OMS, Marello is always evolving, which gives opportunity to get new features as time goes on. Also, Marello allows endless customizations options, so new integrations, custom features can be added. Having a separate OMS also allows completely switching or connecting new storefronts to it. Marello also allows to extend existing features by creating custom reports using any data that is in Marello database. So what we did, we created some reports that are generated based on the data always the same, the ones that are most frequently used, but Marello has an inbuilt report generator which allows selecting any data from the database and having this report generate based on your configuration. Also, you can add additional tags for the orders if you need to mark them in different way. There's different business objectives, and adjusting email templates as the times goes on, which are sent from Marello, is also possible without any custom development. So that's the case study of monthly clubs, how they managed to fully automate their order process using Marello and still keeping their niche of allowing customizing their orders and shipments for their clients if they wanted it by manual actions. So in the end, what I wanted to say is let's stay in touch. If you have any questions or a project in mind, or you would like to discuss a possible Marello integration for your business, you can reach out to me via email that you see on the screen, or go into scandiveb.com and then look into us. You can also, of course, reach out to Marello, and then for Marello specific insights, and then for the integration part, then connect with us. Short, that is it. Let's check. Maybe there are questions. Okay, so Richard is asking a question. We operate a number of direct-to-consumer marketplaces, all multi-vendor, where each vendor manages their own inventory, warehouses, and dispatch. Does Marello support this operational model? Marlus?
Yes, so I saw that Sylvain already answered a bit of the question. And I would like to add to that in your case, Richard, you could use organizations in which for each organization, product, inventory, and orders can all be managed separately per organization. And of course, a user is then linked to that organization, and that user would only see its own data. There would also be a possibility for a global organization that has the insights into all organizations known in the system. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, and the next one is Marello able to suggest real-time calculation of delivery dates for the e-commerce website customers on PDP pages or checkout?
Yes, so the short answer would be yes, Marello can do this. And the long answer is quite a technical answer, which I'm not quite good at answering. So what I'll do is I'll be in touch with you after the webinar, and I'll refer you to the right person at Marello to discuss this option further.
Okay, then there's another question, how you have integrated Magento with Marello. Is there any connector available or is it done by API? So first, I can answer, but I know that Marello is working on a connector and it's should be available. But for this specific case, there wasn't a connector available, but it was a little outdated and it had to be adjusted, which then allowed us to sync all the data that we wanted between Magento 2 and Marello and vice versa. But I now know that Marello is working or close to releasing official connector between Magento 2 and Marello that is up to date. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. That's correct. So we are currently working on the Magento connector because we just updated Marello, so we needed a new connector, and that's coming very, very soon.
Yeah. So let me check.
I think Theodorus was asking whether there would be a recording of this webinar.
Yes, so the webinar is being recorded and it will be available afterwards if you missed it, so you can watch it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then there's the final question. So they say that the non-commerce version of Marello allows only adding one address for customer in open source Marello. How do they handle customers with multiple addresses?
Yes, good question. So I already read the question, and to be honest, I'm not the technical person at Marello, so I had to ask a colleague, and he said that it is possible in the community edition to have multiple addresses for the customer. And again, I'll be in touch after the webinar with you to make sure you get a good answer to your question, because I understand that this won't really help you. So I'll be back in touch.
Okay, so and one final question is about where do we install Marello? Do we have to host it on our own infrastructure? For this case that was presented now, the solution, yes, was the open source version of Marello is hosted on infrastructure of monthly clubs. It's hosted in AWS. So yeah, if you would go with open source, then you would have to set it up on your own infrastructure. I think that's the only way to go.
Yes, and next to Aura, we also have a cloud version, which is a PaaS solution.
Correct. Okay, I see no more questions. Thank you all very much for joining. As I said, this webinar is recorded and the recording will be shared afterwards. Thank you for all the questions and hope you learned about Marello. We managed to explain how to successfully integrate it and what it can give for your business. So don't hesitate to reach out to us for any questions, and we will be gladly to help you not only answer them but also act on it and integrate it and help you upgrade your e-commerce solution. Thank you all. Thank you, Marluz.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Okay, bye.